Coming up, super cool surgery in your own backyard.
A breakfast trick that'll have your cereal bouncing back for more.
Stick a super gross pus-filled boil on your face.
Or stick a teaspoon right on the tip of your nose.
How neat is that trick? But my spoon keeps falling down.
Funny you say that, because falling down is exactly the problem Daniel and Ashley have to avoid, because they're about to build a really cool explorer shelter in their backyard.
Ashley and I are daring explorers, camping out for the night in the wilderness. We've got everything we need right here. Warm clothes, torches, sleeping bags. What about the most important thing of all? The food! Us adventurers get pretty hungry out in the wild. Now, the first thing to do is get the tent up. Ashley, where have you put the tent? You were supposed to bring the tent. Great, you just keep munching on that food. We can't camp without a shelter. Looks like I'm gonna have to save the day with a brilliant idea. To the explorer's shed. There's always something useful in there. This is good. A tarpaulin and some rope. Maybe we could tie it up to a tree and make a shelter. We've got one tree, but there's nothing to tie the other end of the rope to. How can we make a cozy shelter without using trees? We're going to have to build some sort of frame and then tie the tarpaulin over it. Let's get to it. It's Halloween and I've got the coolest costume ever. Yellow teeth? Check. Scary claws? Check. Monster mask? Uh-oh. My monster mask! I can't find it! Oh well, I'll just have to think of something else to make me look gross. Maybe something that looks like pus from a festering sore. Yep, that's gross. I need some cotton buds and petroleum jelly, tissues, food colouring and a couple of egg cups. I can feel a sudden rush of festering boils coming on. First a little red food colouring to make a nasty infection. Now for the perfectly putrid pus. I'll mix a dollop of petroleum jelly with a few drops of yellow food colouring. On it goes. Yuck! And to finish off, I'll use some tissue as skin. There. Now that's disgusting.
Pus is actually a signal that your body is working to kill infection and bacteria. That gross-looking yellow stuff is a cocktail of dead white blood cells, body fluids and bacteria.
Ew! This'll really freak the girls out. Though maybe I do have one too many boils. I know just how to fix that.
Truly, truly disgusting. Excellent work, Patrick. And Daniel and Ashley look like they're doing a pretty good job with their explorer shelter too.
Ashley and I are building a shelter to camp under for the night. These old gardening stakes from Dad's vegetable patch will be perfect for building a frame. Thanks, Dad. We take 2 branches and tie them together at the top with rope. This is our first A-frame. It'll support one end of the tent. Now we need another A-frame. Up she goes. Hold those in place, Ashley, and I'll get the top pole. That sits on top of the A-frames. Now we tie up each end, making sure the knots are really tight. It needs to be pretty strong so it doesn't fall down on us. We'll make the whole frame more secure by anchoring it to the ground with guy ropes. One end is tied to the frame and the other end to a peg hammered in the ground. That ought to do it. Time to get the roof on. Half the tarpaulin goes on each side of the top pole. I'll attach another guy rope to each corner and stretch it out tight. This will make sure the water will run off when it rains. And there we have it. Not bad at all. One problem though. If it does rain, the ground will get very wet. Sorry, Ashley. I think we're gonna need a raised sleeping platform. Morning, Michael.
Hey, wait! You finished the cereal! I wanted some of that. Here's the deal. If I can make that rice cereal jump around without touching it, it's mine to eat. Do we have a deal? Good. Don't touch that cereal. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got a plate of plexiglass, some wooden blocks, and a woolen scarf. I'll need some of your ordinary, everyday rice cereal. Soon to be my rice cereal. Thank you. Now the plexiglass goes over the cereal with the blocks as supports. Then I just rub the woolen scarf on the plexiglass. And look what happens. Jump, my little rice cereal, jump! Yes! Do your little dance, my tasty friends.
The cereal jumps and sticks to the plexiglass because of static electricity. Rubbing the plexiglass with the woolen scarf makes it build up negative electrical charges. It then attracts the positively charged cereal. As the cereal absorbs negatively charged electrons from the plexiglass, it loses its positive charge and drops back down again.
Woohoo! The cereal's all mine. You gotta get up pretty early in the morning to outsmart me.
Now that is what I call clever.
Well, clever is what we do best around here. In fact, we even have some talented backyard surgeons standing by to strut their stuff.
We will now perform an incredibly delicate lung transplant. Meet my surgical colleague, Lara. This is going to be the wildest plastic surgery you've ever seen. First, I will remove the diseased lung. Just as I thought, dry as paper. Now for this patient's fabulous, shiny, plastic replacement lung. All we need is tape, a funnel, a balloon, and a plastic bottle. To make our artificial lung, we'll stretch the neck of the balloon over the narrow end of the funnel. Push the balloon and the funnel into the bottle. Good. Our new lungs are now in their chest cavity. Time to make the plastic bottle airtight. Great! Our artificial lung is almost ready. Squeeze in, squeeze out. That's what's going to happen when our patient's chest muscles make him breathe in and out. When I squeeze the bottle in, air is forced out of the balloon. This is what happens when our patient breathes out. And when I let go of the bottle, the balloon fills back up with air. That's how our patient will breathe in.
Fraser's and Lara's clever replacement lungs work just like real ones. When we breathe, muscles in our tummies and chest expand and contract. When they expand, the pressure in our lungs drops and air rushes in. When we breathe out, the muscles relax and our chest cavity gets smaller. That forces air out of the lungs. If the muscles don't work, we don't breathe.
Phew! For a minute there, I thought Lara was going to be next in line for a lung transplant. But first things first, let the surgery begin.
Poor Jordan. He lost his balance on his skateboard today and hurt his ankle. Now he's as grumpy as a grizzly bear. Well, he loves chocolate biscuits. Maybe that'll cheer him up. No! This is serious. Come on, Jordan. You can wash it down with your favourite chocolate milk. Don't want milk either. Boy, this is trickier than I thought. There's got to be another way to put a smile back on his dial. I know how to make Jordan laugh and to show him how his balance isn't so bad after all. A few hot breaths on the spoon, and hey presto, I can balance it here on the end of my nose. Yes, it's working. Not even grumpy old Jordan can help giggling at this trick. I guess it's not every day you see someone with a spoon hanging on their nose. He must be feeling better, if he wants to try it too. Hey, nice balancing, Jordan.
Scientists can't really explain this wacky balancing act. One theory is that a natural glue is created when the atoms in the metal spoon bond to the skin on our nose. Another theory is that the condensation from the warm breath dries to form a sticky union with the skin.
Yep, Jordan's got good balance after all. And he's got his smile back too.
Yes! I can do it as well. Now I can relax.
And there'll be plenty of relaxing in Daniel and Ashley's Explorer shelter too, as soon as they work out their sleeping arrangements.
Ashley and I have made our very own shelter to sleep in for the night. Before we can settle in for a rest, we need to make a sleeping platform. It'll keep us up off the cold, wet ground. We're going to use a small tarpaulin folded around 2 strong poles. Using string, we tie the 2 edges together in the middle. Turn the thing over, and we have a comfy stretcher ready to attach to the shelter. The 2 side poles go outside the A-frame of the shelter. The yellow tarpaulin holds the poles together and stops the stretcher from sliding down. Pretty clever, hey?
Do you know what shape is making this structure strong? Yes, it's the triangle, the strongest shape. In triangles, the angles between the 3 sides cannot change once the triangle is built. Each angle is fixed by the side opposite. This makes it a very sturdy shape for a shelter.
Boy, do I love camping. Sorry, Ashley. There's only room for 1 person in here. And this was my idea. Hey! My food supplies!
Whoops, I thought that construction project would end on a happier note.
Speaking of endings, we've reached the end of another show. See you next time.
Coming up, magic tricks that'll amaze your friends.
Weird and wacky bubbles that'll blow your mind.
The world's trickiest brain teasers.
And a megaphone that'll guarantee those match-winning goals.
Hey Karen, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Dana. Oh, that megaphone is so cool. And speaking of cool, get ready for some ice and snow and the coolest picnic you've ever seen.
My friends and I are going on a totally cool picnic. It's an ice picnic. We're gonna need a stack of ice. So this spot looks perfect. Our entire picnic is gonna be cooled by the snow. Chase has brought the shovel. That's to make our ice picnic table. And the supplies to make snow cones. He'll make those later. But first, for our dish of the day, we're gonna make our own ice cream. That takes the longest, so let's get going. First, into our small plastic bag, we'll need half a cup of sugar, half a cup of milk, half a cup of cream, touch of vanilla essence, and last of all, a few drops of blue food coloring, just to make our ice cream look super cool. Okay, now we seal it up, give it a shake, and our sloppy mixture is about to become rock solid.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to be amazed. You won't believe your eyes when I make my lovely assistant Grace float above this table. Abracadabra, Alice Shazam.
This normally works, I promise. I can do this. Maybe if I just help a little. No. Okay, so I can't make Grace levitate, but I can make a whole audience disappear. Not exactly what I had in mind. Time for my emergency trick. This trusty magic paperclip works every time. I also need some scissors, sticky tape, an empty jar with a metal lid, string, plasticine, and the magician's best friend, a magnet. To make my magic paperclip jar, I cut a short piece of string and tie one end to the paperclip. Now I attach the magnet to the inside of the metal lid using the plasticine. Then I tape the string to the bottom of the jar. The paperclip should have enough string to almost reach the top of the jar. The lid goes back on, and my magic paperclip is ready to impress. I just need my doubting audience back. Hey, you guys! This time I really will make something float in midair. Gather around and watch closely. You won't believe your eyes. Drum roll, please. I just turn the jar upside down like this and say the magic words, abracadabra. Look at that! The paperclip is suspended in midair. Now do you believe I'm magic?
The secret to Kimberly's trick is the magnet. It pulls the paperclip towards it, but the string stops the two from meeting. This leaves the paperclip suspended in the jar as it tries to get to the magnet. Simple.
So you see, I do have magic powers. Now for my next trick, I'll turn Grace back into a butterfly and you boys into toads.
Turning boys into toads, now that I have to see. And I can't wait to see how Dylan's going to turn his sloppy mixture into solid ice cream.
My friends and I have headed to the snow for our ice picnic. We've already made our ice cream mix. Now it's time to make the world's funkiest freezer. We get another plastic bag that's big enough to hold the small one, plus 2 handfuls of snow. Okay, into the big bag they go. See if it's cold enough to freeze our ice cream. Needs to be colder. So, here's a trick to making our ice cream really freeze. Gabrielle's gonna put in a whole bunch of salt. Seal it up and mix it around. Okay, into the big plastic bag goes our ice cream mix. Seal it and shake it all about. Now we take turns at rolling the bag around to make sure our ice cream mix gets cold all over. While our fridge in the bag starts to freeze that ice cream, Chase will concoct his world-famous snow cones while the rest of us start building our picnic table.
Nicole is such a super brain. She can write faster than anyone I know. And she's a super speed reader. I think it's time her nerdy super brain got a real workout. Time for a real brain challenge, Nicole. Pat the top of your head. Now rub around your tummy at the same time. I'll keep her doing that for a while. This time, pat your tummy and rub your head in a circular movement at the same time. Haha! I've got a brilliant brain tied up in knots.
Our brains get used to moving each hand in a certain pattern. When we change the pattern, we alter the hand-moving program in our brains. Sometimes our hands stop moving while the brain learns its new trick.
She's not a fast learner after all. Whoops. Looks like she's a fast runner, though.
That's what I call using your brain, Zach.
And Jade and Ashley have been putting their brains to work too in the backyard bubble blowing department.
Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Magical, mystical, marvellous bubbles. Ashley and I are bubble magicians. It's so fun to watch them float away. You never know where they'll land. But they're always round. I wonder if there are any other shapes we can make. Let's grab some more pipe cleaners and give it a go. What if I make a square bubble wand? Can I blow an oblong bubble? That would be magical. Oh, suddenly not a square. Well, if the square won't work, let's try a different shape. My Bubblicious buddy has a triangle ready to go. It always comes out as a sphere. Ashley, my dear, I've had an idea. Maybe our bubble blowing shapes need more depth. They need to be three-dimensional. You try making a triangular prism and I'll make up a cube. I think we might have just come up with a solution here. Perfect! A masterpiece of pipe cleaner construction. Into the magical bubble mixture they go. Wow, look at that! It's a square bubble. And check that out! A triangular bubble has formed inside the frame. But can we blow them in that shape? They're round again, after all that. Beautiful bubbles, though.
Blowing a square or triangular bubble is impossible because the molecules in the mixture like to stick together in a particular way. They naturally arrange themselves into a spherical shape.
Well, when it comes to bubbles, I think the big is really the most beautiful. Now that's magic.
I'm coaching our neighbourhood soccer team. With the way they're playing, we'll never kick a goal. Go round! Go round! To the right! I said right! Don't kick it there! What are you doing? To the right! They're just not listening to me. I need a voice booster. I know. I'll place a rubber band around the bottle about halfway down and use that as a cutting guide. The top section is what I'll need. Now to see if it works. Dribble it around! Around to the right! It works! Now kick it straight on!
When we speak, sound waves travel out from our mouths in all directions. They get thinner and weaker the further away they travel. But Jordan's simple megaphone channels the same sound waves in one direction. Because they're not spread out as much, they sound louder and stronger.
He scores! A blast! A goal! Now if they just keep listening, the neighbourhood soccer championship is in the bag.
Now that is what I call a match-winning megaphone.
Yep, and I'd like to get my mouth around some of Dylan's prize-winning ice cream. I wonder how it's turned out.
We're ready for our ice picnic to begin. Chase is putting the finishing touches on the snow cones, while the rest of us work on our ice picnic table. Better check on that ice cream. How cold is our freezer bag now? 10 degrees below freezing. Okay, really cold. Good. That salt has made our ice cream solid. Let's get this stuff onto our picnic table. Time to sample the goodies. Our ice cream is now solid enough to serve.
As soon as Dylan puts salt into the bag, it begins breaking up the crystal-like structure of the ice, causing it to become liquid. Now, salt dissolves in liquid water. And because energy is required for the dissolving process, the dissolving salt absorbs heat from the water, causing it to get colder and colder. The super cold water then starts drawing heat away from the ice cream mix. so its temperature drops way below zero, making the ice cream really solid.
Now let the ice picnic begin. Yum! Yum! Oh, yum! And double yum! This is the best ice cream ever! Mmm!
That's it. I've got to go make some of that ice cream.
Might as well, because we've come to the end of another show. See you next time.